The Dominicans were founded in the 13th century at a period in history in which there was a lot of turmoil. The development of the great cities of Europe was taking place very rapidly. And the Dominicans, as an itinerant community of preachers, went from one place and had to be prepared to answer a lot of different questions that were coming at them. Science was developing. There were questions about ethics in science, about the economy, about banking. And I think the same thing is true today.
We're an order of preachers. We were founded to be preachers for the sake of the people of God, for the sake of the salvation of souls. So our specialty and our charism from the very beginning has been to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, which Pope Francis, in the joy of the gospel, has said is a message of joy.
We've survived as an order because there is a need. There's always a need for preachers, and that is, and in our day and age, that is what's very much needed.
We as friars think of the cross that hangs in our chapel.
And so the Dominicans have always been there for that need.
Our purpose for being is to serve the church, to do the preaching in what we call in medio ecclesiae, in the middle of the church. So we're always grounded in what the church needs at any time in its history. So I think as the church has changed and as the church has grown through many centuries, so our responsibility has been to respond to the needs of the church in whatever ways the church has asked us to do.
Brothers in the province really are grouped into three different categories. We do campus ministry, we have parishes, and we have 2 schools. I think the campus ministries are important because shaping the faith life of young people is so critically important. So we enter into the life of a university, we interact with faculty and students, and we preach in that milieu, helping both faculty and students to deal with the questions that academic life poses to them as people of faith. Our parishes are more rooted in particular neighborhoods, but there too, we're always trying to respond to the questions that they're facing in their daily lives as they raise their children. And of course our schools, Fenwick High School in Chicago and Aquinas Institute in St. Louis, are geared toward educating high school students and then preparing graduate students for a variety of ministries in the church, both ordained and non-ordained. So we really see our identity as preachers finding its expression in all those different ministries: campus ministry, parishes, and education.
Bless us in our common life, study, prayer, and ministry.
But I think what's really fascinating and wonderful for us is that we've had a very strong vocations program for many years now, and we've been consistently receiving young men interested in joining the order or joining the province between the numbers of like 5 and 10 a year. That's almost unheard of.
I first met the Dominicans at Purdue University. I went to Purdue for aerospace engineering. When I met the Dominicans, they provided another opportunity, another vision or alternative way of life that I had never experienced before, and it was intriguing. I loved the sense of history. The idea of them being 800 years old made me feel grounded. An intellectual history, a spiritual history, coupled with the joy and the relationship that I saw that the brothers had. It was very real, it was very fraternal, it was very much rooted in love and happiness and laughter and joy. At the same time, a deep spirituality.
It has survived because God somehow has a sense that the Dominican charism is something that can make a difference in the Roman Catholic Church. So even though we've been close to extinction, even though we have suffered great trials historically at different times and been reduced to very small numbers, it has always come back. It has always come back. And that's the part that I think is not necessarily because of us, but because we have a mission. We have something to contribute.
For the last 800 years, we have been preachers and teachers of the faith. Preachers and teachers helping people understand why we're here, where we're going, what's unique about our journey. and to make sense of that journey home to the Father. The last words of Jesus before he ascended into heaven was to go forth and preach the good news to all nations, to every creature. That's our mission. That's what we've been doing for 800 years as Dominicans, and that's what we want to continue doing as long as possible.
Sent out to preach by Dominic, sent two by two to all the world, sent out to study the gospel of grace, to find new ways to preach